Hello, fellow teachers. This is Apollos from Teaching with Power, and my goal is to help you become a better teacher of the Scriptures. Now, a little bit of a different format for this video. I just want to share some quick insights with you from the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. But I won't be going into great detail on exactly how to teach this parable or go through it verse by verse, but I just want to give you some thoughts that hopefully will inspire you in your own methods of teaching it. If you prefer that kind of more in-depth instruction, then check out my other insight videos for some of the other stories highlighted this week in the Come Follow Me manual. This particular insight is for the week of May 6th to the 12th. Now, straight to what I feel are the major truths taught by this parable. 1, every person is known to God and has worth. 2, for of him unto whom much is given, much is required. And 3, if God has blessed me with great temporal welfare, then I should seek to bless others as well. Now, these are some of the truths that your lesson could lead to. But what I love most about this parable is the irony of how he describes the two individuals in the story. The first insight comes in the title of the parable itself. Who actually gets named in the story? Lazarus, the beggar, the poor man. And what does he call the other character? Well, he's just a rich man. He doesn't get a name in the story. Now, what an ironic reversal to how things are here on earth. Who is it that gets remembered in our society? Who gets named? Who do we all know? The successful, the rich, the famous. They're the ones whose names everybody knows. And it's all the nameless masses of the poor and the marginalized that seem to fade into obscurity. But they all have names, and Heavenly Father knows each one. Now next, look at the description of their deaths. And I think you really have to read this with the right tone of voice to get the effect. But here's how I read it. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and was buried. You know, I just can't help but read it like that. The beggar's death sounds so poetic and descriptive, while the rich man's death is told abruptly and without emotion. Again, Jesus is turning the worldly convention on its head. The rich often have these splendid funerals and publicized accounts of all their accomplishments, and everybody remembers them. In Jesus' day, important people would have large monuments or memorials built for them, while the poor, they often pass into the next life without any ceremony or any acknowledgement. Now, the rest of the parable shows the role reversal in heaven. Things in the afterlife are not quite the same as they are here. The rich man finds himself in torment, while Lazarus enjoys the presence of both prophets and deity. Maybe the suggestion here is that if the rich man had helped Lazarus in some way during his mortal life, then perhaps Lazarus could have helped him in some way in the next life. And another quick thought here. Sometimes I've been asked why God has allowed the world to be set up that way, with so much disparity between people. You've got very, very rich people and very, very poor people. And to answer that, I sometimes like to use the analogy of water. Water always seeks for equilibrium. It's always going to flow down until all of it is equal. And in that flow, power is produced. Water flowing through a dam can produce enough power to light an entire city. I kind of think helping others is like that. He's put some people high and some people low. And when there's that flow, there's power in that flow. There's great power in the giving, and there's great power in the receiving. I'm sure you've all felt that in your life, the way that it feels, the power that you feel when you give to somebody. And I'm sure that you've also felt the great power of receiving and how it feels to have somebody help you and bless your life. It creates power. Well, that's it. Just a quick thought to get you thinking and hopefully spark some ideas on how you might teach this to other people. If this helped you, please like and subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. That will really help the channel to grow, and I would be forever grateful. All right, now, go out and teach with power.